So let's start our session for the day. And let me quickly switch to my developer console and the application like the class the Apex class we did in our last session. So basically
Right.
what we did in our last session, we discussed about maps. We discussed list, set and maps. We saw that
Yeah.
okay, we also discussed about the difference between the list, set and maps.
Right.
What is the difference between them?
I think Smith, you didn't upload that map session yet because I see only two sessions there on YouTube.
I think I missed that. Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So list, set and map. This we discussed in our last session. So what are we going? And also, and in the last session, I used one SOQL query also. And I told you that what's the use of SOQL query. So basically, the use of SOQL query is to fetch the data from an object,
Right.
right? Whenever we want to get the data from an object or whenever we want to extract the records out from an object, we use SOQL query.
Right.
And how that SOQL query works, that SOQL query, which stands for Salesforce Object Query Language, it is used to query records from an object. And we need to decide whether we want a single record or multiple records. If we want a single record, then we don't need the collection. We can store that into a single variable, single instance. But if we want multiple records, then we use collection. Let me explain you today more about the SOQL today, and we'll also see that what else can we do by using sObject data type. Because if you remember, we have discussed about that we have three type of data types. The data type, primitive one we have discussed, collection we
Right.
have already covered. Today we are going to talk about sObject data types.
Okay.
So basically, sObject can be go with a collection or without collection, both, right? Let's
Okay.
see how that works. So therefore, I'm going to create a new function, public static void test function 5, for example. Right. My requirement is, or let's say I just write here get record function, get records. Get record function. And here what I want to do, I want to get record from an object. Obviously, in order to fetch the record, we need a SOQL query.
Right.
But now the thing is, how many records do we want to fetch? One record or multiple records? So if we want to fetch only one record, for example, I want to fetch only one record from an account object. So I can write account. What is an account? Account is an object.
Right.
And I just write ACC. What is an ACC? It's an instance. I say list of account, ACC list. What is the difference between both of them? This is a variable, is an instance, and this is also an instance or a variable.
Okay.
Fine. In this, we can store only, okay, see the difference is similar. For example, you say integer num, or you say list of integer num list. What is the difference between both of them? This one and this one?
So one is the number, other is we are defining and list.
Yeah, that's fine. But what is the difference between both of them? Line and line number 10. What is the difference between both of them? The difference is this can store only one number. I
Okay.
cannot say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I can't
Right.
say this. It will accept only one number, single value. But
Yeah.
because it's a number list, so in this we can store multiple values.
Right.
Similar to this can store only one record, one single record. But
Okay.
here in this we can store a collection of records, more than one records.
Okay.
So I just write here account ACC is equals to select name from account Either I will use where condition or I will write limit as 1. Limit 1.
Pardon? Can you repeat what you said?
Either I can use limit or I can use where condition, where clause. In SQL query, we used to write where condition, where this, where that.
Oh yeah, where? Okay.
So we can use a where condition here also in SQL.
Okay.
Now, when I say select name from account limit 1, that means it will fetch only one single record and store into an account object into this instance. Only one record. Right?
Yes.
But here in this case, I would like to fetch more than one records. Means because it's a collection, it's a list. In list, we can store one or many. Right? For example, in this list, how we can do that? I just write here is equal to list of integer, and we can do it like this: 10, 20, 30, 40. We can do it like this also. That works. Or
Right.
else we can store only one number also. That will also work because this will also act as a collection now. This will also act as a list, even though it's one single number, but it will also act as a list. Clear? In this case also, when we write a SOQL query, I can write like this: select name, comma, phone, comma, type, comma, industry from account. And one thing, we always have to use the API name, field names. We never use the labels. We
Right.
always use the API names. Here I can also write near name, comma, phone, comma, type, comma, industry. Both are same. The query is same, except the difference is here we have only one single record. This will fetch multiple records.
Right.
And all the records will be stored into this ACC list for this one. Like let's suppose if there are, okay, in this account object, let's go and check. I'll just open sales application. And how many records are there? Let's check it out. So in account object, how many records? Say all accounts. See, there are 14 items. So what it will do then?
Right.
This will fetch all 14 records. And what this will do? This will fetch only one single record. And which one? The first one. Whichever record comes first. This first record, it will fetch only that first record and store into this ACC.
Okay.
Clear that?
Yeah.
Right. This one. That is the, and see what we are doing here. We will be using, we use sObject data type with collection and store data into variables using SOQL query. So because here sObject, sObject stand for Salesforce object.
Right.
Okay, sObject stand for Salesforce object. That's a Salesforce object. Here it's a variable. It's a collection. So basically, it's a combination of collection and sObject data. Here it's a combination. Here this is only sObject. There is no collection. Because when we say collection, collection means always multiple records. But here, do we have multiple records? No, we have only one single record.
Right.
Right. So that means there would be no collections. This is not a collection. That's a single record coming out. This single record will be getting out here. We'll be retrieving that. Fine.
Okay.
sObject data type can also be used to add or update. See, what we can do, we can use it to add, read, update, and delete records on an object. That means we can use this sObject data type in order to read records. See what we are doing here, we are reading a record. We get one record and store into ACC, one
Right.
single record. We can use this instance to update record. We can use this instance to delete record. We can use this instance, okay, or else we can use sObject data type to add a record. Okay.
Right.
For example, here is one. What we are doing here, we are reading a record. Let me comment it out. See, this is one single one. And what we are doing here, we are reading a record. So I just write here system.debug ACC. What this will do, what will be the result?
It will print the value.
It will print the value of the this record. Okay, let me save this. Debug test apex1 dot
get records.
record. That's a function name.
Right.
And open log, execute, and we can see debug. See, I can see the record. Sample accounts for entitlement. It automatically get the record. Okay. This is we are fetching a record. Now, what I want to do, I want to update a record. So if I want to update a record, let's suppose sample entitlement. So let me open this one. This is the record. See, there is no phone number. I want to update this record.
Right.
Okay. So let me run again.
Does it fetch the first record?
It automatically arrange it actually.
Okay.
It automatically arrange the sample accounts for entitlement ID. Basically, it depends on ID and it will automatically fetch that. Fine.
Okay.
And save this. Okay. Got it? So it automatically fetch that. Now what I want to do, I want to update the record. Okay, I want to update a record.
Right.
One second. Yeah. I want to update a record. Okay, let's run it again first. I'll just want to see the query because we are fetching account name, phone type, industry, and are we getting? See, we are only getting the name. Why not the other values are coming? It should display name, phone type, industry from account limit as 1. Get record. Okay, it should display this. ACC. It should display name. Okay, so the problem is there is no phone, there is no type, there is no industry. That's the reason it's not showing anything. What I want to do now, I just want to update the phone number.
Okay.
Clear? So how do we update the phone number? In order to update the phone number to this, what we need to do, I can write here because we have already fetched the record. So now what I can do here, ACC dot phone. What's the API name of the field? ACC dot phone is equals to, let's say 7867. I'll just add the phone number, right? And in Apex classes, there's a function called DML Operations. DML, we don't have to write update query. We don't have to write insert query. We don't have to write delete query the way we used to write in SQL.
Right.
Okay. Here we don't write the query. Here we don't write any query for that. We directly write here, I want to update. I just write here update ACC. That's all I have to
write. Okay.
We don't have to write the update query like update this, then where is equal to this. Okay, that's the way we used to write in SQL. We simply write update ACC. And
but
now,
how it can come to know that which value need to be updated or which account need to be updated?
Obviously, which record stores into this ACC now? Only this
because
record.
It's picking any random account from limit 1.
One second. Whichever record store into this one, we are updating only that record.
Okay. So it's gonna judge itself. Whatever report account is printing, it need to be updated, right?
It will update that one only. because what we are doing, see, just look at here, which record we extract here. When we run this query, it fetched this record. Okay, let's suppose I want this one, United Oil and Gas Corporation. So what I can do, this is the record ID. I copy this
Okay.
ID and I just write where from account where ID equals to colon. So now which record it will fetch? This whose ID is this? Whose ID is this? Account United Oil and Gas Corporation.
Right.
So it will fetch only this record, United Oil and Gas Corporation.
Okay.
Got it? United Oil and Gas Corporation. Here it is. And now what? We'll first print this. Then I update the phone number. I set the phone number to this. So what happened then? For the same record, it will replace this phone number with the new one. And we are updating it. And then we're printing. So let me just save this and open, execute, run, and debug only. See, previously the phone number was 212-842-5500. Now the new phone number is 7867-854-4656-585.
Right.
Let's go and check here also. Still it is showing 212, but when I refresh, you can see the phone number gets updated.
Oh, yeah.
This is the way we can update a record. This is the way we can update a record. Is that clear?
Yes.
If I want to delete a record, see what I mentioned that we can use this to delete a record. If I want to delete a record, let's suppose, is there any custom? Okay, let me quickly add a new custom account. I create a new account here. Let's say, or let's do one thing. Understood this much?
Yeah.
Now, let me do one thing. Let me show you how do we create a new record into an object by using sObject data type. What is the requirement? Create a new record into account object using sObject data type and DML operations. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we want to do, we want to add a record. So where do we want to add a record? In which object?
In account.
Account. But the problem is we don't have any, see, there is no create query. The way we used to have create query in SQL, in Salesforce, in Apex, we have only select query. There is no create, there is no update, there will be no delete query.
Okay.
We have only select query.
Right.
Is that clear? There will be no delete, there will be no create query. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So here, in order to add a new record, we have to take help of sObject. I want to add a record into account object. And because we want to add a new record into account object, so we have to tell the Salesforce, the system, that we are going to add a new record. So how do I do that? Is equals to new account. Okay. So I'm just initializing this so that I'm preparing this variable. I'm just preparing this instance to insert a new record.
Okay.
Okay, what I'm doing here, I will be preparing this instance to add a new record. Is that clear?
Yes.
Now to add a record, I need to add the fields. So I just write ACC. Now, because what is this instance?
Yeah.
This instance is of account. That means this instance can access all the fields from the account object. Whatever fields are there, this instance can access all the fields from the account object. So therefore, I just write here ACC dot name is equals to test account. We are setting a new value. ACC dot name is equal to test account.
Right.
And we always have to mention, we always have to specify the required fields. And in account object, right now, the account name is the required field. Rest of the fields are not required. For example, if I add a new record and new account here, let's suppose I just write here ABC. See, I'll
Yeah.
just save this, record gets created here.
Right.
Same manner, I'm just adding a value into this name field. That's all. And as I mentioned, DML operation, insert ACC. That's all. Insert
Okay.
ACC. We don't write create query, insert ACC. And I can just write a system.debug statement just to check whether record added or not. Okay. There might be a chance that while adding a record, it may throw an error message.
Okay.
You know that in SQL also you have the like if any error comes up, how do we handle that error? Like we used to write procedure or something in SQL. There's an option called procedure. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, forget about that. Any error comes up, how do we handle the error? So for that, I will be using exception handling, error handling. For example, name is a required one, but I did not provide a name field. What I did here, I just write ACC name. I comment it out. I'm not writing name, but I just give acc.phone is equals to acc.phone is equals to this, something like this. Okay, save
Right.
this. And I just put a debug statement, system.debug, new account added successfully. Let's save
Right.
this and run. Open, execute, debug only. Oh, sorry. Not add, get record. What function? Add record.
Right.
Save this. Yeah, I tried. And when I execute this, see an error.
Insert field. Okay. DML exception.
Yeah, because the name field is required.
Right.
I want to handle this error.
Right.
So how do we handle this error? For this, I can use try and catch block.
Try
Try and
and catch.
yes, exception handling.
Okay.
That is called exception handling. Exception handling means or error handling.
Right.
Okay. So how do we handle this? Here I write try catch exception. We are using try and catch block. What is try and catch block? It's like see the purpose of try and catch is to we don't want our program to be stopped. We don't want our program to be throw any system error. We want to show our own custom errors. Okay.
Right.
For example, when I say use of try and catch in Apex program, see this. To handle
Yeah.
an exception that can occur in a block of code.
Right.
If our program will be going to stop unexpectedly, we wanted to handle that.
Right.
And in order to handle that, we'll use try and catch block.
Okay.
Okay, we use try and catch block. So how do we handle that try and catch block? So in order to handle the try and catch block, what I did, I just write try. Basically, we are trying this. I just move this code here, see this. What we are doing, we are trying to insert a record. But
Okay.
if this logic failed to insert a record, then what it will do, it will throw an error. So system.debug, and I just write here, failed to add account record, something like this, error.
Right.
So previously what happened when we run, it threw an error that like while we are executing it, threw an error here only, right?
Yeah.
But this time, it will not throw an error here. When I execute this, see, no error coming up here. See, no error, the log. But when we go to debug only, here we can see that proper message. He failed to add an account.
Okay.
Okay. And if we provide an account name, save this.
So it's kind of if-else statement, right?
Yes. If and else, yeah. The thing is if and else, but in if we are not writing any condition here.
Right.
Okay, we did not add any condition, it automatically
Yeah.
tested.
Yeah.
Okay, it will test it automatically.
Right.
Save this, open execute this, and you can see a new record added successfully. See, new account added. Let's go and check. Account, I'll say new this week. See, test account added successfully. Yeah. This is
Right.
the phone number. Now I wanted to update the type. See, I just want to set the type as prospect for this same record, for example. Or sorry, I want to delete this record now. So how do we delete this update? We have already done. I want to delete a record. So how do we delete a record? Let's see. Public static void delete record. Delete record. We want to delete a record, but can we delete a record without fetching that, without getting the record? First, we need to get the record, then only we can delete.
Right.
Because if we don't know which record to delete, then what's the point of giving an instruction? First of all, we have to give an instruction that we want to delete a record. So we need to mention that I want to delete this record.
Right.
So the very first step is we need to fetch the record. We need to get the record. Then only we can delete the record.
Right.
Clear?
Yeah.
So therefore, I write here account ACC is equals to select ID, comma, ID means record ID, name from account where ID equals to colon. So the new record which I added just now, this one test account. Yeah, this account. What is the ID, record ID? I copy this ID and pass
Right.
it. So it will fetch only that record. And now what I can do, I can directly write delete ACC. That's all.
Okay.
It will delete that record. Let's test it. See, right now you can see test account. If you go to new this week, see an account is here. Still this exists. Now let me save this and execute this Apex class, and instead of add record, I just write here delete record. Execute this. No error. There is no debug statement because we did not print anything. But let's go and
Right.
check. When I refresh, see where is the record now?
It's deleted.
It deleted. And once a record get deleted, it moves to recycle bin.
Right.
And if you want, we can delete it permanently from here, or we can restore it.
Right.
So if I say restore, that record will move back to account object. So like this way, using by using sObject data type, we can add a record, we can update a record, we can delete a record, we can fetch record, we can perform such operations by using sObject data type.
Right.
Is that clear to you?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the use of sObject data type. So this is about now, and what we saw how do we use sObject and collection together.
Right.
If you want to fetch multiple records, then we use a collection data type. If we don't want to use if we don't want to fetch multiple records, then then we don't if we don't want to use multiple records, then we use a single instance.
Can you give me the example of one collection record, how we can use the multiple records? Like here we are using single ID if we want to update two records or three records.
So then you have to first fetch all the record with the IDs and then run that.
Okay,
Okay.
so I have to provide the different IDs?
No. See, first of all, do you want to fetch more than one records or what? You have to write a
Yeah,
where
more than one
condition.
records.
See, you have to write the where condition. Let's suppose here I have all these records. You have to give the conditions. On what condition you want to fetch record. For example, I just give an example here, public static void, let's say update record, for example. Now, collection means we are using list. So I write here
Right.
list account ACC list. But which record do you want to fetch here? I just write here, let's say select ID, comma, name, comma, phone, comma, type from account. When I run only this much, it will fetch all the records.
Okay.
So do you want to fetch all the records or you want to fetch specific records?
Specific records.
So which record you want to fetch? How do you, on what condition?
So where we can specify the record ID, or is there
No, but
anything else
but
we can use?
yeah, we can fetch the record IDs, but that's what I'm asking. How do you fetch that? So then in that case, for example, I want to fetch this record, let's say this one, this one, this one, this one.
Right.
So one, two, three, either we have to give the name or we need to give the record IDs.
Okay.
So if I want to give the record ID, so first of all, I need to create a list then. Record list of string, let's say ID list is equals to new list of string, and then we need to pass the record ID over.
Okay.
You need to give the IDs one by one, then only you can fetch it.
Right.
This is the ID for first record, comma. Then you need to go and fetch the ID for second record. Let's say Dickinson PLC. This one. Then let's suppose I want to fetch the ID for third record. Let's say ABC. This one. Three records are here. ABC, for example.
Right.
And I want to fetch only these three records. So what I can do then? Where ID in ID list. ID list. We use in operator. In.
Okay.
ID, where ID in. This is closed. See, ID in ID list. That means so then this account will hold only those record whose ID is equals to this. Now, for example, I just write here system dot debug ACC list. For example,
Right.
let's do one thing because it is going to fetch all the fields. So for a time being, I just want to fetch only name, ID, and name.
Right.
Otherwise, what happens? The size will exceed, and then it's not going to display all the complete value. So I say update record, execute this, debug. See, Burlington Textile Corporation of America, Dickinson PLC, ABC. Three records are.
Right.
That's the way we can fetch. So basically, we have to, if you want to fetch a specific multiple record, so it would be like this. We need to do it like this.
Okay. And it shows very limited data the when we execute this program. How
So
we
yes,
can see
in
the
the
full?
we have already discussed about that. We can iterate on that if you remember. Put a loop. We have done
Okay.
that
Okay.
example. You have to put a
Yeah.
loop and then
For
display that
loop. Yep.
for loop. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if I want to, now this is a way now if you want to run an update, then we have to iterate on all the records one by one and update it. For example, I want to update all their fields, all the records, this one and Burlington Textile and Dickinson PLC. And let's suppose I want to update their phone number. But the problem is their phone number we are going to add at the same, should be because. So what I'm going to do now, I just iterate on this. So for, remember we discussed about this for
Right.
account ACC list. So it will iterate on all the records one by one. I write a dot phone is equals to something like this
Right.
and update ACC list because the records is stored into this ACC list now. Update. Okay, we update the records. Save this. Now you can see there is no phone number for ABC. For Burlington, it is 33622222700, and for Dickinson, it is this one. But now
Yeah.
I'm going to update. I'm going to set this one. So when we open execute and execute, successful. Let me refresh. See, the phone number is same now.
Right.
But if you want a different number, so then we have to put some condition. For the first record, we want this number. For the second, we want this number. So some conditions need to be done.
Right.
Logics, we have to write a logic as per our requirement. Fine.
Yeah. Right.
So this is the way we can work on this. So here is about the functionalities, and we saw that how do we perform the DML operations by using sObject data type, and to fetch the record we use SOQL query, Salesforce Object Query Language, and in order to perform an insert, update, or delete operation, we only use the sObject and the DML operation, the inbuilt DML operation. There would be inbuilt DML operations. We use the inbuilt operations directly.
Right.
Okay, that is what we did. Okay, that's what we did. Now, for every requirement, we can have a different concept. I want you to try one example by yourself. Write a
Sure.
write a program in Apex class, a function, and based on the account name, you need to fetch the record and display the detail of that account. That means you have to create a function and you need to pass account name as a parameter, account name or account number. See, there's a field called account number also. If I'll just
Right.
say there's a field called account number.
Yeah.
So my requirement is whenever you pass an account number, it will fetch the detail of that account, like name, phone, type, industry. I want to display 4 details of that account based on the
Right.
account. So you have to write a query for that, and you need to pass an account number in a function as a
Okay.
parameter. This is what you have to try by yourself. Okay.
Sure. I will.
So this will be the assignment for you.
Okay. In the meantime, can you upload these 2 lectures?
Yeah, sure, we'll do that. Okay. Now, next we discuss this thing. Okay, using sObject or using Apex classes, we can create parent and child object also. So for example, I want to create a parent record, and at the same time, I want to create its related child record also. For example, you see, you know that we have account and contact. They are in a relationship. Account and contact,
Right.
one account can have multiple contacts. So my requirement
Right.
is every time I create an account, I want to create one child contact for that account by using Apex. Can we do that? 1 second. Let me have a look. Public static void. Let's say account with related account with related contact. So what my requirement is? My requirement is I need to create an account. So first of all, how do we create an account? If you want to create a new account, how do we do that? What should we do?
We need to add as a new.
Yeah, we need to add as a new. If you want to create a new account, I need to add as a new one.
Mm.
Fine. So how do we do that? The way we have already done, I'll following that. I just write here account A is
Oh,
equals to new account because I
new
want to add
account.
a new account. Then I write A dot
Right.
name is equal to, let's say, test account. Okay, one more thing I'll do. I'll just check the record we added this week, and I will delete this one. Okay, I will delete this one. and I will delete this one because we are going to start from scratch. So account test account. Then okay, we can put it in a try and catch block. Don't forget to use this one, include this one. The reason is so that to handle the unexpected errors.
Right.
Exception EX. And we'll be writing this logic over here in try. A dot name and a what I want a dot phone is equals to this and insert a. Fine. Now, what is my
Yeah.
requirement? The requirement is whenever we create a new account, I would like to create a new related contact also.
Right.
So how do we do that? How do we create a new related contact for this? So in order to create a new related contact, what we'll do? Yeah, in order to create a new related contact, what I'm going to do here, first save this exception and I write system.debug. Let's say error occurred or failed to add new account, for example. And I forget to add C. See. Now, what is the
Right.
requirement? We need to add a new contact. See, whenever we want
Yeah.
to create a new contact, we need to map that contact with an account. For example,
Right.
if I want to map if I want to map this contact with an account, we have to select the account name.
Right.
But here we are adding a new account. So therefore, in order to add a new contact, so I write here contact C is equals to new contact. I want to specify the first name and last name. So C dot first name is equal to, let's say, test. Okay. And
Right.
C dot last name is equals to contact, test contact. What do we want? If I only write, okay, if I only write this C, then what happened? If I only write this statement, if I run this much, what will happen according to you?
So it will just add a test contact.
Yeah, it will add an account and it will add a contact, but there will be no
Right.
connection between them.
Right.
Okay, it does not see, it will create one account, one account and one contact. Let me save this. I just save this,
Right.
debug.
So basically, it's independent both.
Yeah, these are independent. So when we execute this and I just execute this, see no error. Let's go and check. I'll open an account and this is our contact. So I'll just say new this week. See, there's a new contact. And if I go
Yes.
and check the account, we got a new account. But do we have an, if I open this account, test account, see there is no contact. So the new contact
Right.
we added, that contact is not related to this. There's no account name. Reason, these are two independent records we added.
Right.
Right? But now if we want to add a relationship between them, so what we need to do, because in contact, whenever we create a new contact, we have to specify the account name. And in Salesforce, in backend, it's a name for us, but in backend, it always uses the ID, record ID. Okay, that's a backend concept. For us, to
Mm.
make it easy, easy understandable, what Salesforce does, Salesforce present with the help of a name. So it's easy to remember,
Right.
easy to select. But in backend, it always map with the ID only. Okay. So therefore, here what I'm going to do, I need to map this contact with this account. So therefore, I write here C dot, because if you can see, let me show you a contact object. Contact, see contact object, fields and relationship. Here you can see on contact, what it is showing here, account name. See that?
Account name. Yeah.
But see, what is the field API name?
Account ID.
Yeah. So this field is used for mapping. So I use here C dot account ID. But what will be the account ID? What account ID we
Uh,
should pass?
what? So it should be test account.
It should be the ID for the test account, the account which
Test
we added
account.
in line number 9. So here I directly
Right.
write a dot ID. Because in Salesforce, it's a rule that you can say it's a basic functionality that whenever we insert a new record by using Apex class, once the record will be added, it will revert back with the record ID. It automatically
Okay.
it will automatically revert the record ID. Let me show you here. I just write system.debug account ID is equals to plus a.id. So what will happen in line number 10, it will insert a record, and in line number 11, it will display the ID of the record which we added just now in line number 10.
Right.
So this same ID I'm using. So then what happened? So I use the same ID to map at line number 16. So this contact will be mapped to the record which we added here at line number 10.
Right.
This is how this works. Let me save this, execute this, success. First of all, refresh and we'll see a new account is added, test account. And when I refresh a contact, you can see a new contact is added, and this contact is mapped with the test account.
Okay.
This is how this works.
Right.
Understood? This is how
Yeah.
this works.
Makes sense.
Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how this works. So anyway, try this example, what we did, try this exercise, and you can
Sure.
also try. Okay, what I did here, I added a new related contact, but you know that for an account, we can have an opportunity and we can add an opportunity. So I want you to do like this. Whenever we create a new account, it will add a new related contact and one related opportunity for this contact.
Right.
So I want you to try both this example.
Okay.
So try
I will.
this and let me know then if any problem, if any question comes up, I'll take up this in tomorrow's session.
Sure.
Right?
Thank you.
I'll upload the recording sometime once it comes.